The Arizona desert, a crowd of strangers meet for one purpose.
You guys coming out here to help me out, I really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart.
To help another stranger, a father desperately searching for his 24-year-old son, Daniel Robinson.
Since he was a child, he liked to challenge everything.
He was born with a challenge.
And I wanted to introduce him to prosthetics because he's born one hand. We quickly learned that that's something that Daniel didn't want. He let nothing stop him. He decided to be a geologist once he got into freshman year in college. He excelled that. He graduated with honors.
Daniel's first job is checking the viability of water wells in the Arizona desert.
He loved this area, of course, because of the rock formation. You're a geologist, this is the best place to be.
But the terrain became a hellscape for his dad when Daniel went missing back in June from his job site. And what number search is this?
This is search number 14.
Navigating the dangers in the desert, the Army veteran knows firsthand time is of the essence.
When I called the Buckeye Police Department, they told me that I had to wait an extra 3 hours because they had a 12-hour, report time when you can say a person is missing. Then I called them back and put in the missing person report. I got very worried. That's when I got very worried. I asked the Buckeye Police Department to go out and search that area. The officer told me that they were going to send a vehicle out there, a helicopter out to search for him. I was relieved. And then he called back an hour later and said, no, it was a no-go. I'm his dad, and he's my son. I've lost all sense of reality. At that moment, I said, you know what? They're not going to look for my son. I'm going to have to do it myself.
Before he arrived, police did decide to search on foot and with helicopters. This is the last place your son was seen?
The last place.
What do you think happened, David?
I think a lot happened here. I'm very suspicious.
But he doesn't know what. A month in, there's a break in the case, and police call Robinson.
I got afraid, actually, that it's going to be some bad news. He said, no, we just found his vehicle.
Some ranchers found it, and then at that point, we conducted our investigation and additional searches.
What was the condition of the car? If it had rolled over, it sounds like it was pretty bad.
Yeah, the car was on its side. The sunroof was kicked out at that point, so he might have exited through the sunroof.
His wrecked car in a ravine, both airbags deployed, Daniel's cell phone, clothes he was wearing that day, and a case of water all found at the crash site. But not Daniel. People don't just disappear into thin air.
True.
Does that sort of feel like what's happened to here?
Yes. Yeah, it's very, very challenging case.
No matter how much the family asks for this to be a criminal investigation, can you make that happen?
We can't make up evidence. Absolutely suspicious circumstances related to the case.
Frustrated and heartbroken, Robinson hired a private investigator. Where are we going?
Down here is where the vehicle was recovered from.
Is that the glass from the car?
Yes.
When you looked at this accident, what are the discrepancies that you noticed right away?
I believe it was in more than one collision.
What does the data from the black box of the car tell you?
That there was 11 additional miles on the vehicle since the airbags came out.
What does that tell you?
That tells me it was crashed somewhere else.
Does that sound suspicious? What explains that?
Well, we had the national expert that came in and provided us his findings, and then they ended up speaking to an expert at Jeep, and the expert says, yes, sometimes that happens, and it's not unusual.
But the data also shows someone tried to start the car 46 times after the crash.
That's something we can't explain.
It begs the question, again, the family is saying it's criminal. It's got to be, he's in danger. Do something.
Right. No, I agree. But we need information. We need evidence.
He's got a lot of theories. His words, I think, were, I don't think they cared. What do you say to that?
Can be furthest from the truth.
Losing hope, Robinson began pleading for media coverage.
It literally took 3 months.
While Robinson searched for his son, the country became riveted by media coverage of another missing persons case, the case of Gabby Petito.
In my situation, people think I love our children less or something, or they're less important.
In 2020, more than 543,000 missing persons records were filed. More than 480,000 were cleared. And 40% of the missing are people of color.
There are a lot of Gabby Petitos and Natalie Holloways in the Black and brown community.
That's why former police officer Derrica Wilson co-founded Black and Missing Inc. and says too often their cases go untold. Eventually, local stations did stories and citizens began helping search. Did you know Daniel?
No, I just wanted to help.
You're just helping out a stranger on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Why?
You know what? I can't imagine what that man's going through.
As the search for Daniel goes into its 5th month, another family is in the midst of a terrible mystery for a 5th year. The family of Nikki and Ariana Fitz.
Ariana is very energetic, very happy.
2-year-old Ariana went missing under the most suspicious of circumstances in the San Francisco Bay Area in 2016. Her mother, Nikki Fitz, was found in a shallow grave in San Francisco's McLaren Park, but Ariana was gone.
It breaks my heart that Ariana's not with her mom, and Ariana's not with her family. But it also breaks my heart even more is that I know that Nikki wants nothing more than Ariana to be with us, to be home.
Tessa Fitz says she is convinced her niece Ariana was taken by people close to Ariana's mother. San Francisco police searched for weeks. They had some leads, but no arrests. A digitally altered photo was made of what she may look like now.
And she's 8 now. I don't want to see this in a picture. I want to see her face in person.
Should Ariana Fitz be a household name like JonBenet Ramsey?
Absolutely. Why is her case any different from Kaylee Anthony? I can tell you, the color of their skin is the only difference.
For 5 desperate years, the family has continued searching using flyers, social media, and Black and Missing Inc.
Do you think it has anything to do with color?
I try not to put myself in the mindset of the race issue with her media coverage. All I want is for there to be the media coverage for her. I think she deserves that.
The Fitz and the Robinsons want only one thing, with hugging their missing children once again.
Do you think that Ariana is still alive?
I do believe that Ariana is still alive, and it would mean everything to me to know where she is and to find her. I wait for that day every single day. I believe that day will come.
How long will you search?
Till I find my son. I have to. I mean, he's my responsibility.
Sarah Seidner, CNN, Buckeye, Arizona.
It's now been 10 months since geologist Daniel Robinson went missing in the Buckeye Desert. His dad had been conducting his own searches near where his son's crashed Jeep was found.
Yeah, it's still a mystery, and with his son still missing, he says funding has run dry, and he's going to stop searching, at least for now. Brianna Whitney's been following the case for us, spoke to Daniel's father today. Do we know what comes next?
He doesn't even know what comes next. And I think what's so hard in this case is there's just so much unknown here. And that's what's so hard. His dad made a point to say just because he's pausing his desert searches does not mean he's giving up on the case. Because David Robinson has conducted his own investigation alongside law enforcement, he's working largely off donated funds. He says right now there's just not enough to keep group searches going after 10 months.
June 23rd, 2021. The last time anyone saw Daniel Robinson. Yet his dad, David, keeps one thought in the front of his mind.
My son may still be alive out there somewhere.
David Robinson drove to Arizona from the East Coast after his son went missing from his geology job site in Buckeye last summer. His Jeep found crashed about 3 weeks after. Since then, David has been leading organized desert searches with volunteers several times a month. They've found bones that belong to others, but never Daniel's. David says he relies on GoFundMe dollars to keep his own investigation and searches up. And he says the reality is those funds have run out.
The operations search, the organized search is on pause for now.
He says while searches are on hold for now, he's focusing on a different part of the investigation with items found at the Jeep crash site.
One of the biggest parts for me right now is to get the forensics work done for everything else that I found, the clothing, my son's wallet, his cell phone. There's another additional cell phone that was found out there doing my searches close to that area. That phone itself, also the work computer and his personal computer.
David says he's taking his efforts to the next level, filing a 501c3 Tuesday to launch the Daniel Robinson Foundation, where he hopes he can not only raise more money for his own investigation, but can also provide funding to other families dealing with missing loved ones.
The goal is to help other families to not go through the same thing I have been through just to get to this point.
While the Buckeye Police Department has not found evidence of foul play at this point, David says he still believes something criminal happened and says he will stay living in Arizona to see his son's case through.
I'm here until I find my son. That's what the goal is. That's why I'm really fighting. I'm doing everything I can to make sure that happens. I think any father, any mother would do the same.
Buckeye Police tells me Daniel's case is absolutely still active and an ongoing investigation. They're still working on conducting new interviews, looking at satellite imagery, checking financial activity, and working on forensics and targeted searches in that area. Live for Now in studio, Brianna Whitney for Arizona's Family.
A dedicated father, no matter the result in that case. Brianna, thank you.
Thanks so much for joining us. Our big story right now on 12 News at 6. May 23rd will mark 11 months since Daniel Robinson vanished in the Buckeye Desert.
His father moved here from South Carolina and has been leading search efforts almost every weekend. But now he says donations have dried up and he's hitting the pause button on the search.
So what is next? Team 12's Josh Sanders has been following this story from the very beginning and has more.
Sometimes your body want to say, I can't do it no more. But my mind say, I got to keep going.
Nearly every weekend for the last 10 months, David Robinson has been here, searching the Buckeye Desert with volunteers, hundreds showing up to look for his son, Daniel.
10 months is a long time. Every day is that same thing over and over again. Daniel's still out there missing.
He's organized hundreds of search groups, using drones and other technology to canvass miles of desert terrain around the crash site of Daniel's 2017 Blue Jeep Renegade. Daniel's clothing found inside out, boots and socks, wallet and laptop. No blood, no signs of injury, no signs of Daniel. He hired a private investigator and collision expert.
After the airbags came out, somebody turned that ignition over at least 46 more times.
David's teams even found human remains, but not Daniel's. Funding generated through a GoFundMe account. More than $250,000 raised through thousands of donors.
Everybody made that possible for me to remain here. Started off with roughly 200 people coming out there on weeks to go out there and search with me. That number has dramatically dropped. I'd be lucky if I get 20.
But that funding has now run dry, leading David to temporarily pause the desert searches.
The stress of the demands of trying to get the forensics work done on the vehicles and the clothing and everything else. Then I had to take away some of the equipment that's very vital and crucial.
Buckeye police do not have evidence pointing to foul play. Despite pausing the searches, David remains determined to find his son and help others with missing loved ones. He's in the early stages of establishing a foundation in Daniel's name to support other families with similar stories.
It's a non-stop deal for me. I want to make sure that the same thing that I have gone through don't happen to another family. So if I can help it.
Josh Sanders, 12 News.
My name is Daniel Robinson. I attend AC Flora, and I'm planning to major in geology at College of Charleston.
Good job.
There's so much hate going on in the world, so much pain, so much suffering. This is for those who need a rescue. You are not hidden. There's nothing that can hide. No one you feel it, you're not defenseless. I will be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear your whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. Down an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. There is no distance that cannot be covered over and over. You're not defenseless. I'll be your shelter, I'll be your armor. I hear you whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. And I will send down an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. Oh, I will never stop marching to reach you in the middle of the hardest fight. It's true, I will rescue you. I hear your whisper underneath your breath. I hear your SOS, your SOS. And I will send down an army to find you in the middle of the darkest night. It's true, I will rescue you. Oh, I will You in the middle of the darkest night, it's true. I will rescue.
When the lights and camera turn off, I will be here. When the interest and conversation fade, I will be here. When there's no one around, a father will do anything it takes to be there for his son, to protect his family.
Daniel Robinson went missing 4 months ago. This is the last photo his family has of him. He's a 24-year-old geologist, last seen leaving his job site in Buckeye, Arizona.
As the Gabby Petito homicide case garners national attention, another young person has been missing for nearly 3 months, and his family is desperate to find him. 24-year-old Daniel Robinson, a geologist, was last seen on the morning of June 23rd, leaving his work site in the desert of Buckeye, Arizona.
David Robinson had only one thought on his mind as he drove the nearly 1,800 miles from his South Carolina home to Phoenix.
I had to find my son. And I'm still currently looking for him. Thank you guys for coming in on this evening's Q&A, the Q&A Primetime. My name is David Robinson. I'm the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. My son went missing on June the 23rd in the Sonoran Desert of Buckeye, Arizona. He's a geologist, graduated from the College of Charleston, landed his first job out in Phoenix where he wanted to start his career. Once he got to Phoenix, like I said, he worked for a company called Matrix New World. It was an engineering company. They hired him on as a field geologist, also called a hydrogeologist. My son's job is to go out to various well sites all over Arizona, no matter what the city is, to check the viability of those wells. In Arizona, there are communities, of course, most cities in Arizona is nothing but the desert. So they're building these communities out in the desert. And those communities have to have well water. Those well waters the wells have to produce at least 100 years of water. And my son's job is to determine that and also check the rock settlements, get the rock settlements from the bottom and have those tested. So my son has doing a very important job that day. He went missing. He went to 2 well sites, one earlier that morning around 7 and the other at around 9 o'clock is what we were told, the family, we were told. According to a worker from a company called Weber, according to that worker, my son had spoke with him to get directions to that location. Once my son made it to that location, the worker said that my son and he had a conversation out on that roadway where my son followed him into that desert. They drove a mile in and they drove 2 miles north to make it into this desert, to this well site. Once they made it to that well site, this worker said that my son had a conversation with him for roughly 10 minutes. In that conversation, he was checking his eyes to see if it was dilated. He was trying to observe him. And also, my son had mentioned either that he wanted to go back to Phoenix to rest, or was that he asked him that he wanted to go back to Phoenix to rest. Nevertheless, this worker said that my son waved off to him, got into his vehicle, drove off, went east, and he have never seen my son again. We have never have since that time seen my son. My son would disappear that day without a trace. Almost 30 days later, my son's vehicle showed up in this ravine right here behind me. That's a picture That's courtesy of the Buckeye Police Department. And that vehicle was there almost 3 miles away from where the well site, farther into that desert. Again, my son's clothing, everything that was on his body, from his underwear to sock, is lying down here in this pile of clothing that you see behind me. Also, is another foot away is the safety vest. You can look at the scene right there when it first was given to me. The Buckeye Police Department, the vehicle was found, by the way, on July the 19th by a rancher who was out there for a few days tracking his cattle and to try to get them to a corral that's south of this location where this vehicle is eventually going to be found. He went there 2 days prior to the 2 to 3 days prior to the 19th, he said, and the vehicle wasn't there. But on the 19th, when he came through there again to see if his cattle made it through that ravine, because they always come down the ravine to make it down to that corral, the vehicle was there on the 19th. He realized that it was one of the vehicles. After some time, he realized it was the vehicle that was on the local news, and he wanted to report it. He went to the Buckeye Police Department to report that. As you know, just looking at the scene from a family standpoint, all we can see is something terribly happened to my son, and sibling. So, it's very devastating for our family. Of course, I've been out in Arizona on June the 26th, where I started doing everything I can, doing my own investigation to work with the Buckeye Police Department at the time, and also end up eventually starting my own searches because of circumstances. Started my own searches where I've been searching for weeks with volunteers, dedicated people out there that works really hard to help me search for my son. We started off as a rescue mission and ended up being a recovery mission. On those searches, recovered human remains, one human skull, and human remains, one human skull, and bringing some closures, hopefully, to some families out there. That's the reason why I bring you guys on this Q&A this evening, this morning. This Q&A is all about was about fasting and prayer for Daniel. You see scroll on the bottom of the screen there, the hashtag fast and prayer for Daniel. I started it off this morning with a prayer. You guys know that prayer changes things. I believe in prayer and in faith. Faith without works is dead. We put some action to our faith, putting those two combinations together. In my faith, I know I'm going to find my son, and in my faith, I started the searches for my son. And in faith, putting out flyers and things like that to try to do everything I can to give awareness for my son. In faith, I created this YouTube channel with the help of Grizzly K, of course, with Grizzly True Crime, and I was able to do that just to try to get awareness by faith. I'm also founder of the Daniel Robinson Foundation in my son's name, with also a very capable and very loving team that I have, and also board. So I'm really grateful for everybody who's here, and also the supporters by faith. I definitely reached out to you all, and by faith, you guys came and being a part of this whole thing from day one. Like I said, I would not have made it here to 11 months searching for my son in a way that things are. Tori, I'm a father. You can probably imagine that already, that I would have came out and did everything I can regardless. However, like I said, I wouldn't be able to do this much, without your help. You guys have been donating. You guys have been making phone calls. You guys have been passing out flyers. You've been signing that petition, actually putting your voice to that petition. So just been participating everywhere you can, supporting me by your comments and your calls and everything else. And I really appreciate it. So I just wanted to put that out first. Of course, this morning, like I said, we had the Q&A for the fast and prayer for Daniel. As you know, this Q&A was actually geared for Monday. Monday was the 23rd, and on the 23rd, my son has been missing for 11 months. And this Q&A here Wednesday, because it's both. It had two Q&As there on Wednesdays. I wanted to put the fast and prayer on this day for the 23rd to ask God to give me the directions. I'm out here on the ground in the gap for my family. His mother and his siblings. I'm standing in the gap for everybody, and I'm asking you guys to join in with me in prayer and fasting. you guys have done it this morning. I started off, like I said, with prayer, and I wanted to end it with the prayer. Again, so I'm doing it for the sake of the fasting and prayer for Daniel and for the Q&A. That's at 5:30 here in Arizona time, and also Eastern time in South Carolina at 8:30. That would be definitely the time that the Q&A is. So I've had to go ahead and do the prayer now. But I'm asking you guys if you want to continue on. I leave that on your discretion. And but I will be praying right now. As you guys, if you can join in with me with this prayer, we're going to end the fasting and prayer for the day, and asking God again. It's a petition to help me, help me get all the answers I need to find out where my son is to bring him home. And also, we haven't forgot about anybody else, any other family members that's out there who's suffering as well. There's some people have been looking for their loved ones for years now, and some as short as a day. Every day someone to go missing. So we are also praying for them, standing intercessory prayer for them, and that God will bless them also to get the answers and things they need. So you join in with me, Heavenly Father. I thank you, God, for this day. I thank you for all of your many mercies and your blessings that you have poured upon us, Lord. I thank you, Lord, for waking us up this morning. I thank you, Lord, for your daily bread. I thank you for you, God, because you are almighty, you are powerful, you can do anything. We give you glory. Your name is greater above all the earth. We thank you, Heavenly Father, for you being here right now in this moment with everybody here that's joining in with me in prayer. We ask you, Lord Jesus, you know their desires of their hearts, you know their mind, you know their needs, Lord. And I ask you, Lord, to bless them. Lord, thank you, Lord. We thank you, Lord, for all your many blessings for us also as well. We give you praise, honor, and glory. We came to you this morning, Lord, asking for one thing. We came in unity and in strength together. We petition you, Lord, to have those answers that we need to find Daniel, to bring Daniel back home, to bring him safe, or any manner that you'd have to bring us some kind of closure. Give this family some closure, Lord, and Lord, please, Lord, give us a closure and let this pain end. Lord, give us some type of closure. We definitely want our son to come back unhurt and unharmed. And we ask you, Heavenly Father, to allow that to happen. We still have faith. I put my actions to my faith. And with these actions, I know you can do anything. You can help me and guide me. I have people behind me that's praying along with me. And I ask you, Lord, to please grant that for us right now. Bless those families also, Lord, that have suffering from missing loved ones. That's out there right now, don't know what to do, know where to turn. They're lost, they're hurt, they're in pain. I know those feelings, Lord. Bless and comfort them. Also, Lord, give them direction and help them, Heavenly Father, to find their loved one unscathed, unharmed, and unhurt. Bring them some sense of closure. Bring them a form of closure, Lord. And I know you can, and I know you will. Also, those who are praying with us and joined that don't have any missing families, that came together anyway, to stand in intercessory prayer for everyone. We ask you to bless them, Lord. I ask you, Lord, please bless them and bless them accordingly. And I thank you, Lord, for putting on their heart to come along, be a part of this Q&A, be a part of this fast and prayer for Daniel, and also to continue to help my family continue on what we're doing. Thank you for this foundation, Lord, that will be coming along to help other families and also help in this situation to help Daniel. I really praise you and really grateful, Lord, for all you have done. Thank you, Lord. And we end this Q&A, end this fast and prayer. And we thank you in Jesus' name, pray, amen. All right. Thank you guys for that, for joining in with prayer for this fast and prayer for Daniel. Again, you guys, for the sake of for the Q&A, excuse my throat, for the sake of the Q&A, I have to do the fast and prayer now to end it. But like I said, you guys, if you like, you can still continue on, with the fast and prayer. But we are expecting answers. Last time we had a fast and prayer for Daniel last month. I have seen some things, like I said, you even see the opening, the filing of the Daniel Robinson Foundation, for instance. Some other things that happened for me in terms of being able to remain in functional in Arizona and things like that. So I'm looking for big miracles and big things. So I really have faith, and I really know that everything happens for a reason. God don't put more on us than we can bear. So I know for our family to be going through this for this long, we can handle it. Much as sometimes we don't feel like it. I can tell you, man, it'll break you. It'll break you, and sometimes days are very hard. With every day that Daniel is missing, it's harder and harder. However we're making it. So, and like I said, with supportive people like yourself who constantly give a good word and give good thoughts and things like that, that help us along. So continue to keep the prayers for all these families, not just my family, but all the families who are suffering. I just want y'all to not forget also the Day of Remembrance. That's going to be on next month on June the 25th. I ask you guys to please put that on your calendar and put that as, remind yourself about this event. It's a very special event. You can go to pleasehelpfindday.com under the events tab and get more information about that. I love you, RSVP, if you can. Like I say, make plans to be here no matter where you're at. No matter what city you are or where you're at, you can come down to Phoenix, Arizona to be a part. We will be grateful and happy that you have all come along. If you have a missing loved one, we especially would like to see you down at this Day of Remembrance. So please keep that on your calendar and keep that in your mind. Also, I just wanted to make sure you guys not forget about the tip line. I have put a petition in out there also for someone. A lot of times when people who know some things, sometimes they do follow, may have even come out to the searches, wherever the case may be. I know you see me. I know you see me out here doing everything I can to find my son. I know you see me talk about my family, all the great things that Daniel is. He's a brilliant man. He's a scientist. He's a very good contributor to society. He brings some good to Arizona. He's also missed and loved by his family. So I know you see me. I know you hear me and you hear my voice right now. If you have information that will lead me to my son, today is the day. It's going almost a year here. It's a day to speak out and say something. You don't need to hold that back any longer. God did bless you with a thing called anonymous tip line. It's a tip line. There's also, you can remain anonymous if you don't want to let anybody know who you are. Again, please utilize that tip line if you can. Please use it. If you don't want to talk to anyone, like I said, that tip line is a 24-hour, 7 days a week live operators there that I pay for. And they will take your call. Like I said, they allow you to be anonymous if you like, but they also will take your call. If you don't want to talk to any operators, you can do exactly what I have on the bottom of the screen there. You can text the word tip to that tip line, and you still can remain anonymous. So please, that's if you don't want to talk to anybody. Again, I will say it over and over again. But if you just want to talk to me and give me that tip, that's going to bring my son back home. You can also utilize this phone number on the bottom. It is my personal but yet public cell phone number. I cannot guarantee you being anonymous if you use that number, unless you're using a burner phone or something like that. But I certainly will take that call. I would really be grateful for any kind of answer you can give me to the whereabouts of my son or what you know about my child. So please end the pain for our family. Give us a sense of closure, and just go ahead and call that tip line or text tip to that number, or call me. Just do something. Don't just sit on it, hold on to hover in your heart, because things like that. All of us have something there in our heart and in our mind that would say, "Hey, do the right thing," and the right thing would be to utilize those resources that you have to give those answers to this family and give us some closure. Let us find my son. So thank you so much, everybody who's joining in. Please help finddane.com. All the information that you need about this whole thing I'm doing here for my son. Whether it's when the searches start back up again. As everybody know, there's right now the Special Operations Desert Searches on temporary pause until further notice. Just know that if you go to pleasehelpfinddane.com, you'll see when that happens again. I will be out there searching for my son again with volunteers. I'm out there at times. I have been out there lately, recently, I meant to say, but I have been out there since the time I paused the searches. But definitely not going to have any type of searches out there with the coordinated searches right now until things change right now. So that's all for a temporary purpose. But like I said, there's a lot of areas out there in the desert that still have to be searched out there. I found it a hard time, being able to even accept that I had to put it on pause for now But, I had to make those hard decisions and at the time. So right now, like I say, I'm still asking God for that too, to be able to provide, keep the money coming for this forensics and stuff that need to be done for this, everything that's done on the scene that hadn't been done on the scene, and also to be able to bring those searches back up and running again. So I'm still looking for those special blessings and things like that. If you guys want to help in other ways, there's a volunteer in other ways tab there. You can put your skill sets there. You can fill out the form. I also talked about the ambassador program, volunteer ambassador. What that is you guys, if we want to distribute these flyers, of course, the PDF is there also on the pleasehelpfinddaniel.com if you want to, print them out, take them to a print shop or however you want to print them out and get those flyers into your cities. Or you can request those flyers from me. But the thing is, the ambassador program is for those who want to be in charge of your city, no matter what city you are, to get those flyers out in your city, to be able to recruit some people to pass some of those flyers out and things like that. So if you guys are interested in that, please go in Other Ways to Help tab, like I said, on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. Fill that form out and also put in parentheses, put in a section somewhere in there and say, hey, I'm interested in also being an ambassador for the flyer distribution. So I definitely look for people like that who's willing to do that. And if you get enough people, I want to be able to have a Zoom call video with you guys and really explain what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to do. That way you can make a wise decision if that's something you want to do. I really pray that you do, because we definitely need to get those flyers out there. And that's one of the avenues I thought of to get Daniel's word out there more and more. So thank you guys again for being here on this Q&A this evening, the Q&A Primetime. Again, my name is David Robinson, the father of geologist Daniel Robinson. I really thank you guys for coming out to this Q&A and supporting me in my efforts. I really thank you guys for spreading Daniel's name out there. So I do have some questions. If you guys have questions there, please by all means ask your questions this evening. As some people I missed this morning, you come back again with your questions. I hope you have your questions ready this evening. I will try to go down the comment section and find those. But I do ask you if you can, as you know, most people who have been to this Q&A know, if you have a question, please put the word question there first in all caps, followed by your question or a capital letter Q or some question mark and things like that, because that'll help me as I come down the comment section. I will not be doing individual thank you for coming in. I want to tell everybody thank you for coming in to the Q&A this evening. For lack of time, I want to make sure that, because I see the numbers are really good, and I really appreciate you guys for coming in and joining this Q&A. At the same time, I want to make sure I get those questions. So I'll be coming down the comment section. I really have my team is in the chats, and I'm really grateful for them being here. I will highlight some of them. Sophia, thanks so much for being here. Also being part of the team and board. I'm really grateful that you're in that chat, handling your business and also taking time from your own business to help out. So good evening to you. And thank you everyone for joining the Fast and Prayer for Daniel, hashtag Fast and Prayer for Daniel. So thank you, D-Love, for putting that out there. Also that Fast and Prayer for Daniel. I really appreciate that. So thanks so much. Definitely look for the questions. If you have any questions, please, like I said, put the letter, capital letter Q or some question marks or the word question in all caps. As I come down, I can find them. Please help finddaniel.com to donate, sign a petition, check events tab, other ways to help, and print out flyers to distribute. Thank you so much, you guys. Please go, please help finddaniel.com, and you will find all of those things what Sophia mentioned just now, other ways you can help, and so on and so on. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I will keep this one thing on the bottom of the chats also. That is a tip line. I'll keep that tip line there for a little while there, because I want that one person, I really feel in my spirit, that one person that knows something will say something. Thank you for coming out to Q&As. Thank you for all your help. But the biggest help that you can do right now is definitely, provide some information that will bring my son back home. Thank you for doing that. Also, you guys, like I say, I'm looking for the questions down on the comment section. If you have those, please, by all means, ask those questions. I will be putting out some information. One of the things that I'm planning to do is also try to provide services for other families. So those things will be coming really soon. Me and my team working on some things. I don't want to pre-talk about things on that, but I want to tell you guys, since I've been looking for my son, I have become very passionate, with helping other families. Those families, like I said before, I couldn't be human if I can see what's going on with these families, and they have the same thing happen to me, happen to a lot of families. The only difference is they don't have, a lot of people don't even know who their names are, don't know who their family members are, and they've been going through this for years. When I talk to people, I have never seen them speak as if that person is no longer exists or in their mind, or they talk like it just happened yesterday. A lot of them, it's been years, but they talk like it happened yesterday, because for them, they definitely feel it as it happened yesterday. And I can understand that. Every day is like day one when you're not finding the loved one and you're out there looking. It becomes like day one all over and over again. So I do have John Q. Thank you, John Q, for being here this evening. Good to see you on this Q&A. It's been a long time. I'm really, really grateful that you here. You've been doing a lot of work, and also using your platform to help bring awareness to Daniel's case. And also, you've been working very hard in the background. A lot of people don't know. So I'm really grateful for you and Ms. Q Carlott and some of the others who have been there for a long time, for months, helping out. So I'm really grateful for your efforts. You have a question here, Mr. Rawson. Were you able to check the vertical mine? Not yet. Still haven't been able to do that. Like I said, I had some issues with BLM. Once they gave me that map, I was, to make a long story short with that, I gave them the map. Once they gave me the map, and they was unable to want to communicate and things like that. Once I point out the map they gave me would say that this vehicle is on federal land. So they told me I have to go through other hoops and strings just to be able to talk to them again. So that kind of deters some of the things also when it comes to this company that I was working with. And they have to get their permission and to be able to go down in those mines. Where at the time we thought it was wells, but it's actually mines, the two vertical mines. So no, haven't done it yet. One with the huge tire. That's mainly the one that I really want to get done. So also the digital information came back from the forensics company. Not yet. I haven't gotten that yet. I'm still working on that, and that's definitely working on that, because I'll talk to you in the background about that. But yes, definitely still working on those two parts there, John Q. So thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for being here on this Q&A. Like I said, it's good to even see your name there. I know you're a busy man, very busy, and I'm really grateful that you had the time to come out and join this Q&A. Thank you, Barry, for being here tonight, part of the team and on board. I really appreciate everything you're doing, and thank you so much for being out there as a moderator to keep the comment section safe, in a sense. You know what I'm saying? Thank you so much for working that administrative stuff. Also, I'm still looking for these questions. If you guys have any questions, come down to the comment section, and I will be finding them so I can answer those questions. Again, I see so many names. I really am tempted to try to go through every last one. I just want to tell you, thank you so much, you all, for being here. I just pick a select few. Thank you also, Navy Girl, Navy Girl 81. Navy Girl, so obviously served this country. I really appreciate you for your service, and thank you so much. I'm assuming, and thank you so much for being here on this Q&A. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you, Shiro's Nation. I'm really always grateful also that you're here. I'm looking forward to your questions with logics. I really like that. Thank you so much for being here. Also, LL for being here. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Also, thank you, Ellie, for being here. Also, in Jesus' name, thank you, Tanya. I saw that right there. I had to put it up. In Jesus' name, I pray. Amen. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that for being here. Thank you all for being here. I thought I saw a question coming. I do see one. Thank you, Shiro's Nation. I see yours there. If I end up missing a question, please feel free to ask again, because I'm coming down that comment section and I am looking for them. Is it possible that the $3 and change Daniel spent at the gas station was not gas, and maybe he went inside and bought a light snack and a drink? That is possible. What made Ellie anyone sure it was gas he bought? That's what I was told by Buckeye Police Department. They have footage of him pumping gas, is what I was told. So, as in, that's what I'm assuming. Also, I haven't seen that video to verify that, but definitely that's the case. Can you guys hold on for 1 second? I apologize. Okay, I think I'm back. I apologize for that. I had some things going on in my throat here. Throat is dry. Wish I grabbed some water. I don't have no water near me. So excuse me. Excuse me. But thank you, Shiro's Nation, for your question again. One thing I was given was just the video knowledge of the video of footage or whatever at the gas station. I have not seen that. I have not even seen the footage of the gas of the video they say they have of the Waffle House that Daniel is. I'm choking right now, you guys. Can you please hold on a second? Okay, I hope I got it right this time, you guys. I've definitely meant to bring some water near me, but I guess all the talking I'm doing is really drying my throat out. Anyway, thank you again, Shiro's Nation. Like I said, only information I had is that it was a video footage. As in seeing it, I have never. As in seeing the footage of the Waffle House, I have never seen that either. I'm just going to assume that that is correct. For now, I do have a question for rumors. What did the collision expert determine? Did it look like someone was chasing Daniel? That's all kind of theories out there. The collision expert, my ex former PI, accident reconstructionist, he determined that the vehicle at first, he said, looked staged. He didn't say it's staged, but he said it looked staged. And the reasons why is because somebody can put the clothing down the way things were. If you go by the theory of the Buckeye Police Department, for instance, that they suffered some type of brain injury. I wouldn't see nobody taking time off, taking their clothes off, and just sitting in the pile. You'd be taking it off all over the place, slanging because you're disoriented. That type of deal. But anyway, the things from the vehicle itself was the two impressions on the windshield as somebody tried to beat the windshield in with something. Also, he said the damage didn't match the terrain, what you guys see behind me. Damage on that vehicle didn't match that. Also, because of that red transfer paint, there's nothing red in that desert. The vehicle came in contact with something out there, something somewhere, but it definitely wasn't in the desert. Other part was the 11 additional miles on the vehicle and things like that. Like I said, there's a lot of theories out there. Sometimes we have to stay in our lane and make sure that those theories that we're speaking about is also within the parameters of what we do know. These are physical evidence that we have here. Everything that's on the scene, the airbags, like I say, all the airbags are deployed, things like that. The glass that's on the ground is in the perfect shape, in my opinion. Is in perfect shape on the ground at the time when it was on the ground. I first saw it, as if, in my opinion, however that glass came out, it didn't come busting out and scattered all over the place. It came out in the perfect square, landed on the ground somehow in the perfect square, and was there. So that's suspicious to me by itself. As in somebody could have put it there and smashed some glass up and say, hey, that's the glass that came out that driver's window. That's the only glass that's broken. So no glass in the vehicle. That was suspicious as well. So he found a lot of details on that vehicle, things. The vehicle, when he checked the infotainment system, this is common knowledge. This stuff that's already out there. infotainment system. The vehicle first initial crash happened 4 hours after. Think about this now, 4 hours after Daniel went missing. Unless Daniel was riding around that desert almost 30 days and then decided to crash his vehicle, or he crashed his vehicle that 4 hours after that right here in this ravine. You trying to tell me that somehow with all these searches that the Buckeye Police Department claimed they did with the cadaver dogs and everything else they've been doing with these low-flying helicopters, they never seen this vehicle. They never seen this vehicle out there with the 3 days out, almost 3 days after my son was missing. They didn't find that vehicle out there. And they cover this area every time now. They didn't see the vehicle out there. Then they did it with the Civil Air Patrol almost 2 weeks after that point. They didn't find the vehicle out there. And then, so the vehicle wasn't there. Then you had the rancher who testified, said the vehicle was not there. So where was it? Where was it after it was crashed 4 hours after Daniel went missing? So we don't know. We just don't know where the collision took place, if he was being chased by anyone. Those are the answers we're trying to find out. Find out what really happened. And I think I really suspect that someone who knows the answers to those questions very much so well is watching the Q&A. So I really ask them to please speak out now and start bring some closure to this family, to my family, to me, and to end this. So question, Mr. Robinson, thank you, D-Love, for being here. Mr. Robinson, have you been able to speak again to the guy and his son who was shooting out there and said they saw Daniel? No. Well, just him. I don't know about his son. I don't know how old his children is, but I do know I've seen him before, of course. I spoke with him before, but last time I spoke with him was when, some YouTuber, I was in the middle of getting some answers from him. We had some extensive conversation, going into some extensive conversation, and a YouTuber took it upon us. That's why I ask you guys, please, y'all don't have to go out and try to, play investigator either and go out there and do things, because, that's two things happening. There's supposed to be law enforcement involvement. And then also I have the right as a father to try to find out what happened to my son. What ended up happening is, like I said, last time I spoke with him, a YouTuber went out and started putting some information out in the public about this guy that he shouldn't have done without even talking to me about it. And it was a total embarrassment for a lot of things. And I'm sure at the same time, that's what hampered a lot of stuff I could have gotten information-wise, that we no longer be able to contact this guy anymore. So because of that, it really was a really hard thing that really messed things up. And so, of course, that I haven't talked to this guy in a while. One of the things I can say, like I said again, D-Love, She Rose Nation, she's right here in the chat. So y'all just saw a question that she had. Her questions really helped out before, like I said before in the past, to put that logic there. Something that just don't make plain sense. But my son, which everybody said, my son, his co-worker, his boss at his job, the company itself, said Daniel has never been to that well site ever in his life. Of course, since he's been working with them, he'd never been out there in that desert, out there in that part of the Sonoran Desert and things like that. He'd never been in that area. He didn't know how to get there. He had to get directions from the guy at the well site. So how did this guy with this say he had my son's in his scope? Think about this now too. He had my son in his scopes of his rifle. Then later on, also at the whole time telling me he was a federal law enforcement agent, and also actually showed me a badge to say he was. So how does this person could say that my son gave him any kind of direction when he told us my son directed him, had a nice attitude and all this kind of stuff, like he was cleaning his car, and my son directed him to the right places where people say people shoot over here, and that how my son would know that he'd never been out there before. How you know where people shoot their rifles and their guns and things like that on the target practice? My son would not know that, so that's red flags right there. But however, despite that, before she has that question, I did have in January the Buckeye Police Department out there on a weekday to try to search that well, that one well north. And I did ask the detective about him, and he told me, yeah, his story has been corroborated, and they believe his story. But then I brought up, said, well, what about him saying that he was a federal law enforcement agent? He's not. He said, oh, they have nothing to do with, his story. They believe it's true. So how can the police department believe that guy's story is true with that kind of question lingering that Sheroes Nations put out there? So, that type of thing. So that's one thing comes with me that should have been questioned. Also, I'm really grateful that she did ask that question, because that didn't dawn on me until she asked that question. I said, wait a minute. Yeah, that is right. That is right. My son had never been out there, so he couldn't direct anyone to any place. So that don't make sense. Again, I have a question here from Barry. Barry, thanks so much for being here. You know what I did that for, but thank you for being here and helping out and everything you do. And thank you so much for your question. Definitely, thanks for your question. Has Buckeye Police provided any video footage to you? No, they have not. What they have done is they told me, like I said, about video footage. My family and I, on day one, meeting that department, asked for video footage. We asked for video footage of my son ever riding around in Arizona in his life, because he's been there almost 3 years. And we want to see him traveling from his apartment anywhere that morning or that days before. And they say, oh, we can't find anything. There's nothing in the system, whatever they got, that shows Daniel's vehicle anywhere. And then they popped up with this one still footage, like they always do, this one still footage of his vehicle with his bad look on his plate in the bag. You couldn't even tell what color the car was, of him driving to California. Out in California now, they go see his sister. That's the only video picture they provided when we asked for all these videos. We wanted videos we just wanted those things, and they never can provide that. Also, we wanted the videos, footage of they claiming about this Waffle House. They put in a report by some woman trying to corroborate their story that Daniel was acting weird and strange and stuff like that. And yet we still don't know who this young lady is. They say an employee don't want to put her name out there or even put her in redacted or something. But I can tell you, they said they had a video footage, and when they gave me what I asked for, video footage, they didn't give me video footage. What they gave me is still pictures of the video. And the weird part about it, I don't think they think I'm intelligent enough, but the picture they gave me raises a lot of questions about that whole Waffle House incident that I'm working on to this date. So, yes, no, they have not ever given me any kind of video footage, but instead they're hiding video footage and things like that. So that's one thing I will be finding out in Freedom of Information Act pretty soon. Also, questions, Mr. Robinson, did the Buckeye Police Department ever give you a name or a point of contact to the FBI agent they said they spoke with? No, they did not. I had to find it out on my own. I did speak to this agent through one of my team members was able to secure that. And I did talk to this guy, and I wasn't impressed. I'll just put it that way. Wasn't impressed. I'll put it that way. So, but no, they did not provide anything. It's a lot. It's a lot. When they wonder why I'm talking, one thing I want to make sure clear, and I say it over and over again. I'm pro police. First of all, I'm not ever a police basher or anything like that. I just speak the truth. If they're not doing their job, I'm gonna call them out. Blue uniforms and a badge and a gun don't scare me. What I'm saying is I respect people, but people have to respect me as well. To have respect, you have to give respect. First of all, the second part is it don't give you a license to lie because you're wearing a blue uniform and a gun and the badge, you got some kind of position. It's not don't give you a right to not go do your job. If you don't feel like it, it's not a right for you to even have some kind of worrying about your own feelings because your feelings hurt or you got some kind of pride and you want to try to hide that you haven't done your job correctly and your pride saying I got to try to cover this up now. I'm not saying it's suggesting what it's saying that's what they're doing, but that's my opinion. And so the thing is, don't give them a right to that kind of stuff. So I can tell you, I wasn't impressed. But I will keep on fighting for my son, and I will be fighting for the FBI and everybody else to come into my son's case. So I will be doing that. Thank you also for your question. Also a question again from John Q. Thank you, sir, for being here again on this Q&A. Ms. Robinson, were there any corrals that run alongside Sun Valley Parkway. They are line search yet for trace evidence of Daniel being there. There are about 6 to 7 corrals in total. I don't know how many there are, but they are some out there, and I know one that's exactly across the street from, excuse me, from Cactus Road Junction area, that little dirt road they call it Cactus Road there. There's one right across the street. Sometimes I see cattle locked into those. I guess they corral them on in. One thing I can say on the other side of that roadway, we did a light search in the small area right there across there near that corral which you're speaking of, or I don't know about the 6 or 7 of them, but we haven't did any kind of extensive searches on the east side of Sun Valley Parkway, and I don't know until I have some reason to believe I should. We haven't really searched, but I can tell you, I did find out there's more vertical mines that's unmarked on that side, the east side of Sun Valley Parkway, than they are on that west side general area where Daniel was missing. So those things were part of concern for me. I'm so busy trying to get everything over there near where the well site is, and also with this crash site, that those things on the east side of Sun Valley Parkway have been neglected in some form of fashion. I did hear rumors because there's some type of I don't know, some type of reservation or some type of area where they have some locals that live in that area that's really kind of, how I want to put it, really touchy about their land. If you're there, they'll probably shoot at you and things like that. So I've been kind of weary about that. So I'm just still checking into that and want to check more into that, I meant to say, and to find out if there's something reasonable why I should be going on that side to check. All right, but as in those vertical mines, I would like to know where you those corrals, I'm going to say, where you found those corrals, and we'll be talking about that again in the background. So thanks so much again, John Q. Thank you, sir, for being here on this Q&A. You guys have any more questions? I do see one from Jennifer. If you have any more questions, please by all means put those question mark there, like Jennifer did. The big question word question. Big capital letter Q or something like that, where I'm coming down, I can find your question as I come down. Of course, this is a Q&A for Daniel Robinson. For those who haven't been on already, if you could please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, that definitely would help me because that would get Daniel's story out a lot farther. That's what this Q&A is about. That's what this YouTube channel is about, is to get Daniel's story out. It's not an entertainment channel, but it's definitely to put awareness of my son's case and hopefully be a catalyst or something that for other families to be able to utilize to put their family's story out. So I'm definitely working on that part too, trying to invite families in to be part of the Q&A. So the question is, how many times has a coworker been interviewed? I only know twice. Well, I know of once, but according to the once by the, when I say once, I mean once by the police department. But the other one is in their report saying a revisit. I don't know if they mean that one person or the coworkers at Daniel's job, but they revisit the coworkers. So I'm assuming they spoke with him twice. And I said the interview to me is called interviews. I have never. The only person I've known to this date have ever been in the Buckeye Police Department concerning my son's cases of me and my daughter. When I first got to Arizona, I didn't realize it was a interrogation room. To hindsight, I look back at it now. Yeah, we sitting in the interrogation room, getting them taking out cell phones and showing them Daniel's bank statement and phone record, that type deal. Also, my former investigator interviewed him. He told me, and so that's I guess 3 altogether. That's the only person I know. I haven't interviewed him myself, so that would be, I guess, the 4th time because I interviewed him myself once I got to Arizona. And if, of course, I only did it as a father because somebody's gonna tell me something different about my son. My son just literally had this conversation. First of all, was with me. I know my son. He didn't want to be to work that day. I couldn't see him saying, let me go to this 7 o'clock. Let me get up out of my bed, first of all, and go to the 7 o'clock, place, whatever. Go pump some gas, whatever they say he did at the gas station, and then go make it to the second well site if I didn't want to be there. You know, he just wouldn't can't win. You know, but he's a responsible man. So I was, you know, it's a lot of ways I look at that. But the whole bottom line is that's the only reason I went up there is because I wanted to interview this guy who told me my son just literally waved at him and drove off to never be seen again. I don't believe that. And I can be honest with that. I do not believe the story. But, you know, that's me. All right. So thanks so much for your question. I do have another question here from D Love. Thank you, D Love, for your questions. Mr. Robinson, last night, the city council meeting, at the city council meeting, they were talking about what they were building on Sun Valley Road East. Is this the same area? No, it's on the well. What I know is they put some wells on the west side, and also I was told that they put a building community out on the west side of the Sun Valley Parkway. So it's some kind of smart city. Howard Hughes, smart city. I also heard there's gonna be some other big name. I forgot the other guy's name, but you all know he's always trying to fly in space and stuff now. But anyway, have part into big money coming into that area to build a community. So some type of smart city. And so, yeah, you know, that's probably what you're referring to. But as on the east side, I'm not sure what's going on the east side. But I just know that I was told in December they was going to break ground in January, and they never did. All the thing I know they have done broke ground is in putting those wells in, and maybe that they meant by breaking ground at the time. All right, I do have a question here from D Love again. Mr. Robinson, is there any way to halt the development until the FBI can get involved? If I can get the FBI involved, yes, that can halt it. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I like that because some areas need to be really thoroughly searched before they go talking about breaking ground and covering things up. So definitely, yeah, I'm an advocate for that also. But I definitely know, you know, if they can make that, it's already a crime scene. Those areas where my son went, if you find a human remains out there, there's already crime scenes. They're building communities over a crime scene. You know what I'm saying? They have never deemed it a crime scene except for but once in a certain small area that I ever seen them do it since I've been out there searching with the volunteers. That's only did it one time. And that's because they had to, because the Maricopa County examiner's office deemed those bones that we found, the fresh ones, also human bones that we found. So, you know, if I would like them to halt those things until things get checked. Okay. Also, I have a question from Michelle. The question is: at this point, what do you think it'll take to find your son? I mean, everything I'm doing now, fasting and prayer, going out there and get these desert searches again, try to get this foundation up, trying to get funding, you know, put out the petition, put out, like I said, the flyers. Just do everything I'm doing right now. That's all I can do. I'm doing everything I can at this point. I think sometimes, you know, it's easy to easily, you know, and I tell you, I'm tired. I'm very physically tired, mentally tired, but my heart and my mind tell me I can't stop because I need to find my son. You know, there's a lot of things that's going on unanswered. At this point, I definitely need to get somebody else, another department, to look into my son's case and take over my son's case and really do some real investigative work to find out what happened to my son. I don't need lip service. I don't need no people trying to make themselves look good and things like that. I need to find my son. And so that's the bottom line. So what at this point, what I can do to that'll take to find my son is continue doing what I'm doing. And hopefully that somebody who knows what happened will speak up and say something. That's why I'm going to keep pushing that from now on. Here it is going on a year, and they're still keeping their mouth closed. And it's time for them to speak out. You know, so I feel like, you know, somebody knows something, and it's time for you to speak out. It's the stop time. It's stop the time of using an excuse that you're not want to leave an anonymous tip. You don't have to be anonymous if you don't like. You can if you like. But it's time to bring an end to this and bring some closure to my family and myself. So, all right, I do have Toby Rochester Manley. I have a question. What color vehicle did the guy at the well drive? The last person to see him. Well, only vehicle I seen him was a white utility truck. that he came up with to meet me and my daughter. He just driving that little utility thing. So I can't say that's the vehicle he had the day my son went missing. I can tell you that some other guy he was with also had a white vehicle, which was strange. Like I said, the whole scenario with that is this guy knew that I was coming. And because his company called him, Daniel's job called him and said I was on the way, and I'll be there. I think it probably took like 40 minutes from Phoenix to get there at the time, and I would be there. When I got there, they called, hey, I'm out here on the Sun Valley Parkway. He sent, instead of him coming, he sent this other guy who in terms of acting very suspicious. I don't know who he is to this day, acting very suspicious to the point where he got out and he was asking me what I wanted with Ken. And I told him, hey, I had an appointment had set up with his guys. He said he's going to meet me out here on this road. Same place where he met my son. And I'm out there on Sun Valley Parkway on the side of the road and coming out that well site. This guy was really like, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you a ride down there. I said, well, how far is that by block? He tried to give me a ride. I didn't want to get in his truck. I mean, his truck looked really dirty. First of all, one thing is something suspicious. I didn't feel right. And at the same time, I wasn't going to leave him, or leave my daughter and Gwen, who it was at the time, to go out there and sit out there and off the side of the road. So I decided to wait. I told him, hey, no, I'm not going to do it. He can come on out. He made this thing. Well, it's going to take a while. It was like 20 miles or something crazy. He was giving some number. I'm like, 20 miles? That's really far. I said, okay, well, I'll just wait. So he finally got him. He said, well, let me call him. He called him, got on his phone. And I was trying to stand next to him, say, hey, I can talk to him. And he said, hold on a second. He got in his car, left the door open. He pulled his truck forward and then had his little conversation. And then he backed his truck back up and said, oh, yeah, he said he'll be on the way up here. And so that's pretty much how those things went with the Ken to even talk to this guy. Then once he got there, like I said, I noticed his vehicle was white, utility vehicle. And we had our conversation. Everything I told you guys is the conversation I had with him from that point and everything I know. So thank you for your question, Toby. Really appreciate that. All right, for being here for Facebook. Question from Pamela. What makes you think the Buckeye Police Department even looked very hard? I don't think they look hard at all. I don't want nobody to get the impression that I believe they look hard. I know they didn't look hard. It's impossible for them to say they look for my son when you, first of all, didn't want to, obviously. They just literally said they weren't going to look for him. They said, hey, look, he's a grown man. If he wants to, they're assuming, if he want to disappear, he can. I mean, I don't know who told him that he wants to disappear and all that kind of stuff, but that was their statement to me. And the second thing is they waited almost 3 days later just to search for him. And then when they went to go search for him with the so-called Phoenix helicopter, they found nothing. Like I said, I'm going to keep using the same phrase. They even found a construction cone out there in the desert. Then they waited from that time. They waited almost about 2 weeks later just to go with Silver Air Patrol with all these little old guys standing in their white little pickup trucks having a little big conversations while we sit on the road watching them, forbidding me to come in the desert with them, the police officer, to watch to see if they're really doing the search with them and helping. They didn't want me in there for whatever that strange reason, and blocked the gate with the vehicle. They left one guy behind just to make sure I didn't come in that gate. They went down in that desert, claiming they did a search, and they came back empty-handed as usual. Now they find a construction code with all this. They're supposed to be so good. They also, the truth about that report, by the way, because it's being recorded, they did not have two aircrafts on Silver Air Patrol Day. They had only one, and they told me personally it's going to do two flybys, and they only did one flyby, and they did not find a construction cone again. Then my son's vehicle showed up on almost 30 days later on July the 19th out there in that ravine in Rancho Fount. And they claimed they did all this extensive with a helicopter again, drone again. They had a helicopter. First of all, it was a low-flying helicopter is how you put it. Like some action hero thing. The guy hanging out the helicopter, and they flying so low that you hold your hand in the air, you can touch the bottom of the helicopter. That's how low they told me they was flying. He was giving me this whole action hero type deal. Yeah, Mr. Robinson. I mean, he was sounding excited too. And we flew so low, you can hold your hand up and touch the bottom. The guy was hanging out, and he was looking on the ground, looking hard to try to find your son. And we had cadaver dogs, and we had search dogs, and we couldn't find no footprints, and we find nothing. They couldn't find nothing. Nothing. They couldn't find a pink elephant that was out there. They didn't find a construction cone. But yet, in my searches, started from the time my son went missing from our well site to the time that when his vehicle finally showed up, we've been finding human remains out there. We found piles of clothes out there in the same manner as my son clothes were found near his vehicle in a pile. Underwear, socks, and everything was somebody else. And the only reason I knew it had nothing to do with my son because the pant size was too large, the clothes were too large. It was a larger man who it belongs to. So we found things out there. We continually find things out there. So to say what makes me think that the Buckeye Police Department even looked very hard, they did not look hard at all. I don't think they did. They stuck with this narrative. They want to stick with this. They went to get a one-sided opinion, one-sided text messages from a young lady. They let upload her own information to their deal. They put on their report that they spoke to co-workers, but when I talked to the company, it wasn't no co-workers they talked to. They talked to one, but they put plural in there. They talked to co-workers, say he making odd and strange and all this kind of crazy stuff. My son is a field geologist and he works in the field. That's why his title is field geologist. He rarely ever come into that company. He rarely ever come into that building. So it's not plausible that the day my son went missing or the day before that my son was there in that office to even anybody give any kind of opinion about the way he's acting the day he went missing. So that type of deal. So it's all of that. But the other part of the questions, in my opinion, is since Daniel's vest was there on the hill, more likely there was foul play the same day he came up missing. I say this because if he was gone for a month in his Jeep and went back out joyriding, why would he be driving back out there in his work vest after the whole month of missing? You know, and that's the truth. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is like that, like you said, you know, a lot of stuff just don't make sense. It don't make sense at all. You know, like I said too, if my son somehow riding around for 30 days and didn't have to get no gas, and you already know they're claiming that he went to get $3 worth of gas or something. What are they gonna do with that for 30 days? Riding around. That means he was hard up for some gas or something was going on. So how he's still riding around for 30 days? They didn't find the vehicle. They didn't see the vehicle. The vehicle wasn't there. We got a testimony from a rancher who found the vehicle, who was there at that ravine 2 to 3 days prior to that, and it wasn't there. So you know, so what's not suspicious about that? What's not criminal activity about that? The fact that human remains are found out there, and they continue. Even while recently they found someone just murdered out there in that area. So why not recognize that and say, hey, look, this something is going wrong here. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So no, I don't think they look hard at all. I don't think they want to look hard at all. They thought I was going to be this guy come from South Carolina and was going to come out to Arizona and somehow believe this little BS they gave me and say, oh, yes, or something, I guess, and say, okay, well, take your son's vehicle out of here. Basically how that detective made me feel. Hey, get your son's vehicle out of here, or we're going to get it towed. You're going to pay some money to get your son's vehicle. Here's his clothing. I'll see you later. Y'all can head back to South Carolina. We can't do nothing. It's over. Just like I told my investigator, they don't have an investigation. They told me they don't have no more leads to follow. You know, so that type. They weren't looking for no leads. So the type thing. So they thought I was going to be some kind of guy that, I guess, because I'm from South Carolina, and I was going to probably just go home with my tail between my leg and just go home and just suck it up and say, oh, well, I can't find my son. That is it. No, my son is a human being. He's a living person, and he's an intelligent. He's my son. He's a person, and he deserves the same respect and same energy. If this was a police cruiser line out there in that desert out there, and they all yell about certain things, but you know what? I'm telling you something. My son is just as much worth as any cop on their force or any force in this world, in this country, or in this world. He's a human being too. So he deserves the same kind of energy and money and time and everything else that come along with investigating why my son is missing. And I would demand that. I'm going to keep pushing that. So thank you so much for your question. When this question is from ex-Navy Girl 81. question is, when the guy at the well site first seen Daniel, did he say if Daniel's okay, let me read that again. When the guy at the well first seen Daniel, did he say if Daniel's I'm not sure that's not a complete question. I'm really getting lost on that. I'm trying to get your question. I really want to get your question. As Navy girl, if you can rephrase that question and kind of help me out, I really appreciate that. If you come back again, I will be looking for it. Oh, okay, I think you got it right here. When the worker first seen Dan's car, he noticed had he noticed if there was any damage. No, he didn't speak of any damage on my son's car at all. No, he didn't speak of anything like that. So I didn't hear him say anything like that. And of course, I wouldn't be surprised now that you asked the question, and somehow magically he would come up with that. You know, say, because I'm sure they watched the Q&A. How you doing, sir? Thank you for being here. Just like Buckeye. Thank you, Buckeye, for coming in on this Q&A as a silent observer. I really appreciate you being out here tonight. Also, no, I did not have anything. He never ever testified ever saying that. So if you ever try that now, that would be highly suspicious. But no, we didn't have anybody saying that Daniel had any kind of damage on the vehicle at all. All right. Do everybody have any more questions? I have one from D Love. Y'all really have the questions tonight. I really appreciate that. D Love have a question here, Mr. Robinson. If you can't answer, I understand. Does Daniel have more than one phone? No, he just have one phone that I know of. I'll just put it that way. He have only one phone that I know of. There's no indication that he have a second phone. None of his siblings, his mother, myself, anybody else know of him having any other phone. And I can tell you, I did the volunteers, my searcher, one of the volunteers found a phone near this area where the vehicle was found. So that's going to be analyzed as well. So I don't know who it belongs to. I would imagine it's not Daniel because of the color of the phone. But it still had to be checked out as well as his phone has been checked out. So that type deal had to be done because we have to make sure it's not associated with Daniel at all. It could be something else that's dealing with the skull that we found in the area or something like that, or some other human remains. So either way it goes, the other cell phone had to be examined as well. But no, as far as I know, he didn't have a second cell phone. All right. I do have another question. Thank you, D-Love, with your questions. All right, you have another one here. Mr. Robinson, the car site appears staged. In my opinion, it does as well. And also, in my former investigator's opinion, it does as well. How sure can we be the co-worker was the last to see Daniel? I'm not sure at all. We don't go by his statement, I can't go by the other guy's statement. He's saying he's seen Daniel last. I was believing that at first. Again, I told you guys I'm a busy guy. That's why I hired a private investigator at the time too, and that's why I had certain people working in my to help me out in the searches and things like that. Where I had a search coordinator, and then a little while later, I ended up having a logistics coordinator. But at the time when I had just the search coordinator, one of the things is that's when that guy showed up, pretty much. And, he came off as some federal law enforcement agent that was brought to me by my search coordinator at the time. Of course, I kind of brushed him off, sent him to my investigator at the time because that's his job to vet this guy's story, not mine. I shouldn't have to be concerned about that part of vetting anybody. Later on, I was told by my investigator that his story has been corroborated and he's been vetted. And I mentioned this guy in my family press conference. I later found out some different things, like I said before. But I don't know. But this guy said he was the last one to see my son. And because of some other circumstances now, like I said, Shiro's Nation's question and also some other aspect that goes with that, I don't believe that at all. As a matter of fact, that started to make me look at him in a suspicious manner. So I never would think that, I don't believe the guy's story at the well. I can tell you that off the rip. Until otherwise, something else changed that belief of mine. But I definitely don't believe the other guy's story at all either. All right, Jennifer, Question: Your son Daniel is a good-looking guy. Thank you. Is the girlfriend with the coworkers by chance? My son didn't have a girlfriend, so I think a lot of people think that because of this young lady, for lack of saying her name, that he spent the night with and had the communication with and things like that, and the stuff y'all see in the report. That's not his girlfriend. This is a woman that he met. They changed some things together. Of course, she gave him gave him a lot of advice about life and stuff like that, some podcasts and things like that. So they've been talking for a little bit. But as in her being his girlfriend, no, he never expressed that to me. I do have my last conversation with my son about 2 days before he went missing, and he never expressed any love for any woman. He didn't express a woman being his girlfriend. He just asked a lot of questions and started telling me some things about what this young lady was saying to him personally. With those questions, of course, well, some things she was saying to him, and me and him had some conversation about that. But other than him saying, expressing love and all that kind of stuff about this woman, no. As in her being a girlfriend, no. My son didn't have a girlfriend at the time. So, all right. Let's see who else. We have a question here. I do have one for Rachel Arnold. Thank you, Rachel, for being here on the Q&A. Are you planning to send invitations to Arizona officials for the Day of Remembrance? I'm inviting everybody. That would be a good idea, but I'm inviting everybody. Once again, you're planning an event in their town, but nobody has contacted you. This is going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, for you guys to know. And I want to put that, I'm glad you said something about it again. I want to put that up on the banner. It's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. Let me put this down here instead. But it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. I lost your question now. But anyway, it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona. It's not going to be in, I hope I can get your question back. I probably lost it. But it's going to be in Phoenix, Arizona, not in Buckeye. So I hope you guys can, everybody can attend. You can start, definitely, so definitely look out for that and make plans for it. So I'm really hoping that you can. Okay, I think I was here, and then I'm going back. I think I already answered your question about the girlfriend, but I'm coming back down. I kind of end up losing your question there. But it's not going to be in Buckeye, and I will be inviting everybody out there who can. Definitely anybody who have family members that's missing and things like that. We definitely, especially, would like to see you out there and being a part. So thank you for that question. I can't find it again. I wanted to put you back on the screen. I got it off some type of way. But I think I have a question from T and Wildflowers. Mr. Robinson, do you know if the well Daniel was working at was the first time it was checked? Okay, Mr. Robinson, do you know if the well Daniel was working at was the first time it was checked? Did the company ever send anyone else there? The well that he was worked at Daniel I was told was the well that Daniel was last seen at. Nobody checked that well but myself. Meaning that the company had to come out there. The company that came out there to work and search that well. Buckeye didn't search that well. Matter of fact, I do have Lieutenant admitting that Buckeye has never been to that well. That kind of corroborate the worker's story, saying he was out there and I ain't seen no helicopter, no Phoenix Airbird, I guess, and no pilot at the well because they never did come to that well site to search for my son. He said he did. He gave me some coordinates. Oh, we've been out to the well, and he gave me this coordinate. The coordinates was the well south of where my son's vehicle was found, miles away from the site, the well that my son was missing. So they haven't been to that well site. They never searched that well site, the well itself, I meant to say. And I had them to try to search because that time when I had them come out there to search both of those wells, some company had the equipment on it. And so they had to go to the one up north. They didn't have the equipment that day. It wasn't prepared. Like I said, that department always come out empty-handed in the sense. Every time I asked them to do something for me, the two times they asked them to do something for me, and but we had to do it on a weekday. Like I said, they came out there with some camera. They didn't want to get submerged underwater. They pretty much, like I said, I think they think I'm stupid or something. Here it is. You're supposed to be in a police department, and you're supposed to be searching this well under my request. And when you come out there, and I'm saying what they gave me half. I won't use the A word, but they gave me half of what they should have been doing as a real police department. They came out there with some guys with some makeshift camera system. They put down that camera, and the guys was mad because the camera barely touched the water and it got their little camera wet. And they was going, and I didn't want to seem like I was bashing the police with you guys. I said, hey, the Buckeye Police Department came out here and searched as well. But in my mind, I was steaming. I was steaming hot and mad because they looked me in my eyes and said, pretty much like, well, nothing here to see. And then they come out with some little cadaver doll. I'm still trying to find it. My team is looking some little cadaver doll that looked like a little pet, some little fluffy little white dog sniffing around the ground, saying, oh, he didn't alert on nothing, that type deal, and thinking I was going to settle for that and call that searching a well. No, so I had a company go in there and go deep down, and you guys seen the video that I put here on the Q&A. They actually searched that well like it's supposed to be, and searched both of them, where we went near 1,000 feet down in that well, the one north, and then 800 some feet to the bottom of the other well where Daniel was actually last seen, supposedly. And so to make sure that Daniel's not in that well, do the real due diligence. So I do have a question about the one north, and you guys already know about that one. But definitely they have not checked in the wells at all. That the company have not sent back when Daniel went missing somebody to go check the well. So that type deal. So nobody did it until this year when I had it checked. So all right, Pamela, thanks for your question here. Also, has Sun Valley Parkway heading north along the shoulder or bike path into Sun City been checked for leads on side of the roads road out in the desert? I do know that coming from I-10, that road do go north. It goes up to an area called Surprise, city called Surprise. So Sun City, I'm not really familiar. I heard of it, but I'm not familiar with Sun City, but so much. But definitely, Surprise. I am familiar with that. So yes, but as in searching for, like I told you guys, I do much as we can with the volunteers and with the equipment and things we have already available. Is already enough to search the area of the desert based on the science and things like that that we need to search. But yeah, it's gradually, when some things come where we may have to do something like that, what you're saying, drive down the side of the road and kind of look around the side of the road, we'll be doing those things as well. So, but those things have to come up to my attention to be able to do that, and the reasons why we would be doing that kind of stuff. So, all right, let's see if I have any more questions here. I am coming up to the hour and 38 minutes, which is great. We're not going too far yet. Everybody seems like I've been doing these 2-hour Q&As. But anyway, I have one from Mr. Q again. Thank you, sir. Mr. Robinson, was Daniel's phone charger found anywhere at the crash site? Not that I know of. Nobody told me about anything like that. I don't even know if it was in the vehicle. I just seen pictures, detailed pictures. I have all kind of different angles of what I know items are in that vehicle, but I have not seen a phone charger at all in my recollection. Just kind of going by memory. What I look, or maybe if I look for a charger in those pictures, I may locate one. But as it stands, no, I can't remember seeing a charger there. I can tell you, my son went missing on June 23rd, and that phone didn't go dead until near the 24th. Probably into the 24th, later on, almost to the next morning. And before the phone actually went dead, and it kept going to voicemail. So it's been on for some time as we was calling and things like that, the family, and before it finally just went straight to started going straight to voicemail. All right. Are you planning to send invitations to Arizona? There we go. And I'm back to your question. I will. And I'm inviting everybody else, everybody out there. So thank you again for that question. Toby, thanks for your question. Do workers usually carry around red paint? I don't know. I don't know what they carry out there. I know my son, he had to wear a hard hat at times. I know on different sites. I know that he wears a safety vest, as you guys see right here on the scene. As in that worker from Weber, They're a drilling company. They want to drill those wells. I don't know if they do and what red paint would be used for. Other than I would never thought of red paint being utilized by anybody out there, except this guy told me that in the story about him painting red rocks with red paint so he can alert officers where these tracks led to, that type deal. So my son's tire tracks led to. So other than that, I don't know. He didn't say, hey, what he used it for or anything like that. But I'm just going by what he told me and my witnesses. So other than that, I don't know. All right. TN Wildflower, to clarify, I meant, did anyone ever work there before from his company? I don't know if anybody worked at that well site pre-Daniel. I just know that's a question I had never asked. But I do know that that was Daniel's first time being out there to that well site. I wouldn't know that. I can tell you, since my son was missing, I don't know this other guy, like I said, that came up from that well site instead of the worker that I refer to, Ken. I can use his name because he put his name out there on Paramount. Before him, whoever this other guy is, I don't know who he is. I just know Ken didn't come up when I first called and say, hey, I'm here on the side of the road waiting. He sent the other guy, whoever he is. And but like what I was got to say is Daniel definitely that was his first time out there to that well site. Nobody else was there before. I'm not sure. I just don't sure, but I just know this other guy was there. I don't know if he's from Daniel's company or not, but somebody had to take Daniel's place to real heavyset guy take his place to check the viability of those wells. So I'm sure of that. I don't think they're going to just say, hey, have a drilling company guy out there and don't have anybody to check the viability of those wells. So I don't know what those two guys are doing out there that day, but yes. All right. LL, thanks for your question here. How far away is Palo Verde power plant? I think it's about a good 10 miles away. It's good distance. I was told that if you go down on Sun Valley Parkway to get there, it's going to take you a good about 15 minutes to get there or so. It's good distance. It's a good distance, not just a walk there or a short drive to get to that power plant. But you can see the steam from it from real far away from that area where Daniel supposedly went missing. So it's not too far. But he said shooting range from Daniel's Jeep. Shooting range, people keep using the word shooting range. I don't know any shooting ranges out there. I do know that people go out there to target practice, and what they do, like I told you, the terrain is high, low. They'll go out in BLM lands, that's federal land area, and they'll shoot against some big hill or something. They set up their little stands and whatever they want to do, targets on their silhouettes and stuff put out there, and from their vehicle, they target practice. I've seen that a lot out there. So there are people that's doing that. All right. Let's see here. I think I don't have any more questions here. I really thank you all for coming in. Again, being a part of this Q&A and also being a part of the fast and prayer for Daniel. That was very important. Like I said, I'm looking for these answers. I know God can provide and he will provide. You guys joining in with me in this fast and prayer, pushing back that plate. I'm really grateful for that. Like I said, we do things in unity and strength. That's where the answers come in from. And some things are done only by fast and prayer. And I really believe that. And I had to do, like I said, again, I had to apply some actions to my faith. And I really believe that all my labor and my hard work for my son and my love for my son is not going to go in vain. I will have my son back. And my family will have Daniel back. His mother will have him back. His siblings will have him back. We will have Daniel back. And I really going to keep pushing hard for that. And I'm really grateful for you guys for joining in, like I said, being a part of that. So also, a day of remembrance. I don't want you guys to forget that. Please put that on your calendar. Please go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. And also, you can go under the events tab to get more information. You got RSVP there. Put that on your calendar. Just, this understand is a very important event. We want your participation as you can. I'm really, really hoping that you decide to come along and be a part. We're inviting a lot of people to be there at this event. So, we definitely want you guys to come on there. You get more information as time getting closer of this event. But we want you to put that on your calendar and start making plans now. So it'll be easier to make those plans now. So thank you so much, you guys, for being part of this Q&A. Again, I'm David Robinson, father of geologist Daniel Robinson, and I'm standing in the gap for my son and my family. I have this tip line for those the persons or the person who knows what happened to my son and watch this Q&A. I'm really grateful for you coming in and being supportive and sharing the story and all that. But the biggest thing you can do right now for me and my family is to go ahead and speak out and utilize that tip line, the anonymous tip line or the tip line itself. Like I said, there's very, very nice people, good people that would be answering your calls 24 hours, 7 days a week, no matter what time it is, what day it is. You can talk to these operators that would take your call. If you want to stay anonymous, you can stay anonymous, and they would not reject that. They would let you be anonymous if you like and leave that tip. If you don't want to talk to anybody, again, you can just text the word tip to that number, and you don't have to talk to nobody. You can do it from the safety of your own phone, your own burner phone, whatever the case may be. Text the word tip to that number, and you get the form that come up, and you can still remain anonymous. If you want to talk to me direct, say, Ms. Robinson, hey, look, I know what happened to your son. I know where he's at, or whatever the case may be. I just want to tell you directly. That's the number right there on the bottom of the screen that you can use. It's not anonymous tip line, but it's my personal cell phone. Also, it's a public cell number that I give out to the public for you to be able to use. Like I said, I can't provide you to be anonymous unless you have a way of hiding yourself from me. I won't track you down. I just need your information to know where my son is located and bring him home to his mother and his siblings and my family. So go to pleasehelpfinddaniel.com for anything else you guys want to know about the case, want to know about the events, like I said, how to sign the petition, how you can donate. I haven't been saying anything like that for a while. I still need donations, you guys. I really need that to keep things going. I really need to also get the forensics done, and I want to get those searches back up. So I definitely need those donations. If you guys can, I mean, no amount is big or small. I'm really grateful if you guys can help out with donating. So I don't want to forget that either. But you can find the information on pleasehelpfinddaniel.com. There's some people that are reluctant to give to GoFundMe because they don't like the fees or that comes out or whatever, things like that. Some people even ask about Cash App and other ways. I really try to stick with one, but I do have a Cash App also. You can find that on the Twitter account. Please help find Daniel. Please help find 4 is the Twitter account. Please help find 4, and you'll see the Cash App thing on the top of the screen there if you want to donate that way. But definitely, please helpfinddaniel.com for the GoFundMe. That's my preferred way. Try to keep everything in one place. I really appreciate you guys for anything you can do to help and to keep everything going. So you guys have been championing from day one. Like I said, I would have never have gotten this far without your help and things like that. To be able to get Daniel's story out effectively the way it has been going with these flyers and everything else that come along with that to get the word out. So thanks so much. God bless you all. I guess I'm going to end this Q&A right here. If you guys have any more questions, okay, I see you. She was nice. She said you do have a question. I'm going to go ahead and end it with your question, and then I'll go there. If you guys have more questions, I will be back on Friday. And so if you guys have those questions, please bring those. I need all the questions I can get. Have you seen the NAMUS report on Daniel? I did reach out to them, and they have never, reach out to them, and they did reach out. Oh, I can read the rest of I can see what's going on to the rest of your question, but I did reach out to them a long while ago. I did get a call from the Buckeye Police Department with some little things they wanted to say about NAMUS, but let me go ahead and finish your question. Have you seen the NAMUS report on Daniel? No, I have not. Buckeye lied about when they entered him. It needs to be updated. The website says June 23rd. I checked. It says July 8th. I can tell you like this. They never did. I reached out to NAMUS. They never, Buckeye Police Department have never even talked to NAMUS, in my opinion, or what I've seen. First of all, because definitely NAMUS will ask for some type of DNA type deal from the family. They have never to this date gotten any kind of DNA from me and my family and things like that. Just the other day, I was alerted that they just got Daniel's dental records. I'm talking to the police department. and also that we still on working on trying to get other things done now through NamUs. And I just reached out to NamUs again, one of my team members, and also like I said, back what you're talking about those days in July. Yeah, I reached out to NamUs before in the past, but I have since forgotten that I did that because of being so busy. But yes, I have not seen a report. I'm sure they can put anything they want to in the way they want to put things. But like I said, guys, you know what? Well, one thing about the truth, you can stand with the truth. But anytime you make up things, you just cause things to be hurtful for yourself, and things will come to light. So no matter what people do to try to make themselves look good or try to cover up something, if they're doing that, it will come to light. Because the only thing you do is, like my mom said when I was a kid, it's better to tell the truth because you don't have to forget. You don't have to try to remember. But you tell a lie, you got to try to remember that lie. And then you just compound those lies because you're trying to keep covering up things. And then it's always going to lead back to that first lie. So why not tell the truth in the first place? All right, how can I volunteer to search the desert when I get those searches back going again, George? Right now, the search is on pause. And when I get the searches going back again, I will be happy to have you out there and being a part of the of the desert searches. So I'm losing my voice, you all. Thank you so much and having a good night. I really, 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 again, appreciate everybody who came out for the Q&A and also for the, like I said, the fast and prayer for Daniel. I know we're going to have some miracles. I know we're going to have some breakthroughs. I'm going to keep my faith on that. I want to tell you guys I love you. Thank you to my team who's been in the comment section as moderators and taking their time out from their busy schedule to help out. And it's showing so much love. And all the ones out there with me in the desert, the team that was out there also as well, who comes out to the Q&A to support and things like that. And all you, everybody, I love you all and thank you so much. God bless you. Have a wonderful night.